Hey everyone! I know a lot of you are into the hit game Black Myth Wukong, so today I want to dive into the original Chinese myth, Journey to the West, and talk about Wukong himself. We'll focus on his adventures before he joined Tang Sanzang on the journey to the West, especially how he got his iconic weapon, the Ruyi Jingu Bang. No more talking, let's jump right into the story. In the heart of Flower Fruit Mountain, a place where the earth kissed the sky and the winds sang ancient songs, there was a stone that had seen the rise and fall of ages. It stood alone, gathering the light of the sun, the coolness of the moon, and the breath of the stars. For centuries, this stone remained silent, absorbing the essence of heaven and earth, but one fateful day it began to tremble. Cracks formed on its surface, and from deep within a stone egg emerged, shimmering with a light that seemed both ancient and new. The egg, warmed by the sun's golden rays and the moon's silver glow, began to pulse with life. Then, with a burst of energy, it split open, and from it leaped a monkey. Not an ordinary creature, but one born of stone, with eyes that sparkled like the night sky. This was Sun Wukong, the Monkey King. With a heart full of wonder and limbs full of strength, he took his first steps on the rugged peaks of Flower Fruit Mountain. His eyes, filled with a light that pierced the heavens, startled even the gods above. The other monkeys, who had lived on the mountain for generations, watched in awe as this extraordinary being made his presence known. They recognized him as their king, a leader born of the mountain's very essence. Wukong, with the innocence of one newly born, accepted their bows with a sense of curiosity and joy. But deep within, he felt the stirrings of a greater destiny, a whisper of adventures yet to come, of challenges that would shape him into something far beyond what he was now. As the day turned to dusk and the sky blazed with the colors of the setting sun, Wukong sat upon a high cliff, gazing out at the vast world before him. He knew in that quiet moment that his journey was only beginning. Sun Wukong had always been a creature of boundless energy and curiosity. As the Monkey King, he ruled over Flower Fruit Mountain with a heart full of joy, surrounded by his fellow monkeys. But despite the laughter and abundance, a sense of unease began to grow within him. He watched as the days passed and realized that, while his subjects lived simple and carefree lives, he was not content with mere existence. He wanted more knowledge, more power, and above all, the secret to immortality. One night, as the stars glittered like distant lanterns in the sky, Wukong sat alone on a high cliff, gazing at the vastness before him. He knew he had to leave to seek out the wisdom that would make him more than just a king of monkeys, and so with a heart full of determination, he bade farewell to his mountain home and set off on a journey that would take him far beyond the familiar peaks and valleys of Flower Fruit Mountain. His quest led him across the seas and through ancient forests, until one day he arrived at the foot of Mount Fangkun, where the trees whispered of old secrets and the air was thick with the scent of pine and wisdom. It was here that he found the immortal sage Subhuti, a master whose name was spoken of with reverence by those who sought the deepest truths of the universe. Subhuti, known far and wide for his profound wisdom and mastery of the mystical arts, had seen many come and go. But when he first laid eyes on the bright-eyed monkey with a heart as wild as the wind, he sensed something different. This creature was not like the others. He was destined for greatness, though greatness often comes with a price. "Who are you?" Subhuti asked, his voice as soft as the breeze but carrying the weight of eons. "I am but a humble monkey from Flower Fruit Mountain," the monkey replied, bowing deeply. "I seek the knowledge of immortality, the secrets of the heavens, and the wisdom to wield the power within me." Subhuti studied him for a long moment, his ancient eyes seeing beyond the physical, peering into the very soul of this stone-born being. "You seek much, little monkey, but do you understand that knowledge without wisdom is like a sword without a hilt?" Wukong's gaze did not waver. "I will learn, master. Teach me, and I will honor your wisdom with my deeds." The sage smiled, sensing the determination and purity in the monkey's heart. "Very well then. From this day forward, you shall be known as Wukong, the one who is awakened to emptiness. Wukong, to remind you that all power is fleeting, but true wisdom is eternal." And so Wukong became Subhuti's disciple, bearing the name that would one day echo through the heavens and earth. Under the sage's guidance, he learned the arts of transformation, the secrets of the cosmos, and the discipline of the mind. The once carefree monkey began to understand the weight of his power, the responsibility that came with it. Days turned into months, and months into years. Wukong practiced diligently, mastering the 72 transformations, learning to leap across the sky on a single cloud, and unlocking the mysteries of the heavens. But more than the skills he acquired, it was the bond that grew between him and his master that shaped him. Subhuti, who had always kept an emotional distance from his disciples, found himself growing fond of the mischievous yet earnest Wukong. Wukong, in turn, saw in Subhuti not just a teacher, but a father figure, one who guided him with wisdom and compassion, but also with a firm hand when needed. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in hues of gold and crimson, Subhuti called Wukong to his side. The air was thick with the scent of pine and the sound of distant waterfalls. "Wukong," Subhuti began, his voice carrying a rare note of tenderness, "you have learned much in your time here, but there is one lesson that you must carry with you above all others." Wukong, sensing the gravity of the moment, knelt before his master, his heart heavy with anticipation. "What is it, master?" "Power is a fleeting thing," Subhuti said, his gaze distant as if seeing something far beyond the present moment. "True strength lies not in the force of your fist, but in the wisdom of your heart. Remember this, for the road ahead of you is filled with trials, and your choices will shape your destiny." Wukong nodded, though the full meaning of his master's words would not be clear to him until much later. The days passed, and though Wukong had grown in skill and knowledge, there was a restlessness in his heart. He yearned to explore the world beyond Mount Fangchun, to test his abilities in the wider realms. Subhuti saw this restlessness and knew the time for parting had come. One morning, as the first light of dawn broke through the trees, Subhuti called Wukong to him once more. "It is time for you to leave, my disciple." Wukong's heart sank. "But master, I have so much more to learn from you." Subhuti placed a gentle hand on Wukong's shoulder. "You have learned all that you need for now. The world beyond these mountains awaits you. Remember what I have taught you, and when the time is right, you will understand." With a heavy heart, Wukong bowed deeply before his master, knowing this was their final parting. "I will make you proud, master. I swear it." Subhuti watched as Wukong walked away, his figure gradually fading into the morning mist. A part of him felt a pang of sorrow, but he knew that this was the way of things. Every disciple must one day leave the safety of the nest to find their own path. As Wukong ventured forth from Mount Fangchun, the lessons and wisdom of his master echoed in his mind. He felt a newfound strength within him, not just in the power he wielded, but in the clarity of his purpose. He was ready to face the challenges that awaited him, armed with the knowledge that he was more than just a monkey. He was Wukong, the disciple of Subhuti, and his destiny was waiting. Wukong had roamed the lands and skies, mastering the arts his master Subhuti had taught him. His newfound powers were vast, his confidence unmatched, but something gnawed at him, a yearning for a weapon that would truly match his strength. The tales of a legendary treasure hidden beneath the eastern sea filled his thoughts, and soon he was on his way, his heart set on finding this weapon. It was a long journey to the eastern sea, but Wukong was undeterred. He crossed vast plains and scaled towering mountains until he finally reached the shoreline, where the waves crashed with a rhythmic roar. Without a moment's hesitation, Wukong plunged into the depths of the sea, his body cutting through the water as if it were air. Deep beneath the surface, he found the realm of the Dragon King, Guang. The dragon's palace was a wonder, crafted from shimmering pearls and jade, its halls glowing with a soft, otherworldly light. As Wukong approached, the dragon guards tensed, their eyes narrowing at the sight of the bold intruder. Wukong, never one to be intimidated, strode confidently into the throne room where Guang sat, his serpentine body coiled upon a grand dais. The Dragon King regarded Wukong with a mix of curiosity and disdain.
"Who dares to trespass into my domain?"
Ao Guang's voice rumbled like distant thunder, his eyes narrowing as he observed the brazen monkey before him. Wukong bowed with a flourish, though his smile was more confident than respectful. "I am Wukong, disciple of the immortal sage Subhuti. I have come to claim a weapon that matches my strength." Ao Guang leaned forward, his scales catching the light. "You presume much, little monkey. Our armory is filled with treasures, but they are not meant for the likes of you." Undeterred, Wukong met the Dragon King's gaze without flinching. "Show me your treasures, Dragon King. I will find the one that is destined for me." Ao Guang's tail flicked in annoyance, but he gestured for Wukong to follow. Reluctantly, he led Wukong through the grand halls of his palace, displaying weapons of unimaginable power, blades that could slice through mountains, spears that could pierce the heavens, and hammers that could shatter the earth. Yet none felt right in Wukong's hands. Each was too light, too unwieldy, too ordinary for a being of his growing might. Frustration gnawed at Wukong's resolve, but then his sharp eyes caught sight of something in a shadowed corner. A massive iron pillar, ancient and unadorned, yet it seemed to pulse with a quiet, dormant power. "What is that?" Wukong asked, his voice tinged with curiosity. Ao Guang stiffened, his gaze darkening as a hint of fear flickered in his eyes. "That is the Ruyi Jingu Bang, the compliant golden-hooped rod. It was once used to stabilize the seas and control the tides, ensuring that the waters would rise and fall as desired. The term Ruyi means as you wish, for the rod can change size and weight according to the will of its master. Jingu refers to the golden hoops that bind its immense power, but it is far too heavy, too powerful for anyone to wield." Wukong's eyes gleamed with interest as he approached the pillar. "Too powerful, you say? Perhaps for others, but not for me." The Dragon King's voice turned icy. "I warn you, Wukong, that rod is not for the taking. It belongs to the seas, to the Dragon Kings. You would do well to leave it where it lies." But Wukong, emboldened by the challenge, placed his hands on the cold iron. As he did, the rod seemed to awaken, responding to his touch. With a mighty heave, Wukong lifted it, the enormous pillar shrinking at his command until it was the perfect size, a weapon crafted for a king. "This," Wukong declared, his eyes shining with triumph, "this is what I have been searching for." Ao Guang's scales rippled with barely contained anger. "You cannot simply take it," he hissed, his tail lashing against the ground. "The Ruyi Jingu Bang belongs to the seas, to the Dragon Kings. It is not a toy for an upstart monkey." Wukong's expression hardened, his grip tightening on the rod. "It belongs to whoever can wield it," he countered, his voice steady and filled with resolve. "And that is me." Realizing that words alone would not change the outcome, Ao Guang's fury blazed. "Do you not understand what you're doing, Wukong? The power of that rod could destroy you if you're not careful. Return it now, and perhaps we can forget this ever happened." Wukong's eyes narrowed, the challenge only fueling his determination. "I fear nothing, Dragon King. If you think me unworthy, then try to take it from me." Before Ao Guang could act, Wukong twirled the rod and the waters around them trembled. The power emanating from the Ruyi Jingu Bang was undeniable, and even the mighty Dragon King knew he was outmatched. The pillars of the palace shook, and the guards stepped back, fear evident in their eyes. "You may have the rod," Ao Guang finally conceded, though his tone was icy, a low growl resonating from his chest. "But remember this, Wukong. Power comes with a price. Wield it wisely, or it will consume you." With a nod, Wukong secured the Ruyi Jingu Bang behind his ear, shrinking it to a mere pin. "I will remember, Dragon King, and I thank you for your generosity." As Wukong turned to leave, Ao Guang's voice echoed behind him, heavy with warning. "Beware, Wukong. The heavens watch those who grow too bold." Wukong only smiled as he ascended back to the surface with his prize. As he burst through the waves, feeling the sun's warmth on his skin once more, he grinned. The Ruyi Jingu Bang was more than a weapon. It was a symbol of his newfound strength, a tool with which he could carve out his destiny. Returning to Flower Fruit Mountain, Wukong felt a surge of ambition. The weapon at his side was proof that he was no longer just the king of a small mountain. With the Ruyi Jingu Bang in his hand, he could challenge the very heavens themselves. And so, with the rod of legend by his side, Wukong's thoughts turned to the sky, where the gods and immortals resided. It was time, he thought, for them to recognize the power of the Monkey King.